on one side of this man's life is an accumulation of bad behavior. On the other side, it's consequences.
When I was 10 years old, my father tried to kill me. He hung me over a bridge and said, "You're a bastard and the scum of the earth. I'm getting rid of you." He was hanging me there. I said, "If you throw me off this bridge and I die, no problem. But if you throw me off and I don't die, I'm going to turn into the worst gangster you ever saw." As I spoke those words, all hell came inside of me. I held on to that hatred, that spite, bitterness. I held it all inside. I knew one day it would all spill out. And that day finally came. I was 11 years old and I killed my first person. I was still a child. I went to prison. And while I was in that prison, I discovered that it was a school, a university of crime. That's when I learned things I'd never known. So when I got out, the first thing I did was put into practice everything I'd learned.
This became Wollaston's goal. Full of cold-hearted hatred, he became a killer for hire.
One day I left and went to São Paulo and didn't do one hit job, but many. I did things that make me ashamed now of the things I've done. My mother thought that I was like a good kid until she discovered that I was a monster. She discovered that I enjoyed my profession, which was killing. She saw one scene where I had just ended someone's life right in front of her. She was devastated because she didn't expect this from her son, this person I had turned into. I didn't see myself as a human. I saw myself as an animal because I didn't feel pain. I didn't feel pity. I didn't know what love was, much less who God was. In fact, I was my own God. I didn't have love for anyone. I had a sensation that I was a guy who could never get caught. No one would catch me. But one day, I said I'd bring weapons to a place I knew in another state. I showed up with a car full of guns. Someone reported me, and the police started chasing me at high speeds. The police chase went up to 85, 95 miles an hour. We were shooting at each other. I got hit by a .40 caliber bullet in my head. That's when the car flipped. My head was hanging outside, and my head smashed against a traffic sign.
It was a devastating scene.
They told me I came in with my head split open, all bloody. They operated 5 times on my head to remove a piece of bullet that was lodged there. My head became infected and I lost 15 to 20% of my brain. When I woke up, it seemed like it had been one day. But I found out that 1 year had already passed. I'd been in a coma for 1 year. When I realized that, I know I should have died. I'd been tossed into the hospital. No one cared about me, not even the nurses, no one. I could move my left side, but when I looked at my right, my leg, my arm, they were covered by sheets. Armed guards were by my side. I was in prison, but I needed medical care when I got there because I couldn't move. I realized how I needed someone to clean me, to change my diaper, to spoon feed me. And I realized I was a nobody. I wasn't that tough guy I thought I was. Even though I was in that state, I still had to go to court, to a trial, and I was condemned. They gave me 39 years.
Serving a long sentence and imprisoned in his own body, Wallison was overwhelmed with anguish and despair.
I had such an emptiness inside of me that I almost took my own life, because it didn't make sense for me to keep living like that. At the time I was thinking about taking my life, about killing myself, I got to know the work of the church in prison, the UBB. I didn't know how to talk to God, but the word of that pastor said, God can change the life you've been living. So I said, look, I don't know, God, if you really exist. I don't know if I could reach you. I'm rotten. If I was in your place, God, I wouldn't forgive me because I'm rotten. If you really do reveal yourself, then the most valuable thing I have, the most precious thing, I'll give to you. That's my word. If you do something for me, as long as I'm on earth, I'll serve you. Even if I have to drag myself. That day I felt a huge sense of relief. And in the same way that I gave to him, he began to strengthen me. I wanted to make sure that I fulfilled my word. Inside I got a Bible. I read it, kept it close to my chest. I'd lift it up and read it. I'd lay down and read it too.
Wallison had left his old life behind, and he truly repented. Time passed, and he was given the chance to leave behind the prison bars.
The first place I went was the church. I fulfilled the word that I'd given to God. I got there in a wheelchair and went straight to the altar. And that was where I heard about the Holy Spirit. I had peace, but I didn't know who the Holy Spirit was. I searched hard to find out who he was. Everything turned around. I said, I want him. I began to pray in the middle of the night. I'd get up in the middle of the night, go out of the house, pray in the rain. I said, God, I want to have your spirit. I don't accept coming to your house empty. Just like now, in the middle of the year, the campaign of Israel came. And I threw myself into it. I threw myself completely, all the way. I said, my God, I don't accept this, to be in your house and live without your spirit. It's my all for your all. I began with nothing, but I'm not going to end with nothing. Today I have everything. I was able to walk up on the altar. I walked up on the altar with crutches. I placed my sacrifice there and said, look, my God, here I am, my life. I poured myself out and was sincere. I said, my God, I'm here. I'm worthless, but I want to serve you. And that's when the Holy Spirit came and embraced me. At that moment, I felt such a huge peace. It wasn't just a feeling. It was a peace that I'd never felt. And all my life, I felt so rotten, so small. And at that moment, I felt loved. And he said to me, from now on, you're not alone. I'm with you, my child, my child. And I said, thank you, my Father.
Word for word, this man used to be filled with the thoughts of death, and now he carries the author of life.
God kept transforming my life step by step. I'd take a step and God would walk with me. He blessed me with a woman of God. I never had a father as a role model, but today I'm a dad. I have a blessed marriage. Today my mom is proud of me. My dad, who wanted to kill me before, is now proud of me. I used to go out to take lives. Now I go out to bring life to people. Humanly speaking, I shouldn't even be here because the doctor said that I would just vegetate. I'm missing a part of my head. But I don't worry about that because even though I just have half a head, I have given him my whole life. And until now, because of a word, I gave my word to God, and until now, he keeps fulfilling his word to me through my life.